Season 2, Episode 4 of House of the Dragon, titled The Red Dragon and the Gold, marked the beginning of the actual Dance of Dragons, and it was a traumatizing demonstration of the horrors of war. Team Green's forces, now substantially increased, arrive at Rook's Rest, a small castle on the coastline, and prepare for the siege. Daemon Targaryen's daughter Baela, tasked with surveilling the Greens' movements, reports the news of Criston Cole's army arriving in Rook's Rest to the Black Council. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra returns from King's Landing after her secret meeting with Alicent. Team Black, confronted with an aggressive approach by the Greens, with no army at their disposal, is now faced with a difficult decision. Throughout Season 2, the audience witnesses a serious lack of thoughtful leadership on both sides. Team Green has lost Otto Hightower, Master Schemer, and Hand of the King, and is now led by Cole and Aemon Targaryen, both eager to win the war by any means. Meanwhile, Team Black sits idle on Dragonstone, waiting for news of Daemon Targaryen's quest to secure the Riverlands and the return of Rhaenyra. When the Queen returns in the nick of time, the Black Council is forced to respond to Team Green's actions. They settle on sending Rhaenys with her dragon Meleys to defend the keep of council member Staunton. What follows is a heartbreaking dragon fight between Aegon, Rhaenys, and Aemond, ending with the tragic death of Rhaenys and Meleys. Rook's Rest is taken by the Greens, resulting in a heavy loss for Team Black. But was there another path that could have led to victory? It seems that Team Black has not learned anything from the preceding events. In the finale of Season 1, Rhaenyra is faced with the news of her father's death and Aegon's ascendance to the throne, a plot planned far ahead of King Viserys' death by Otto Hightower. When Otto shows up in Dragonstone with peace terms, he mentions that generous terms have been offered to the houses Baratheon, Stark, and Tully in exchange for their support. While Otto's statement could have been a well-calculated lie, it is worth considering the potential outcome of those negotiations before sending Jace and Luke out by themselves to treat with these houses. After Otto departs from Dragonstone, the Black Council deliberates its options. Rhaenyra's eldest son, Jace, suggests sending him and Luke as envoys to win over these houses instead of ravens. The council quickly agrees without even considering the Greens being a step ahead. Rhaenyra decides to send Luke to Storm's End to treat with Borros Baratheon, while Jace is chosen to treat with Jane Arryn in the Vale and Cregan Stark of Winterfell. Both sons are sent off on their missions with no additional incentives to offer but a reminder of an oath given nearly 20 years ago when King Viserys named Rhaenyra his heir. In all her years as heir, Rhaenyra made no effort to stay in touch with her allies. She solely relies on promises given a long time ago. She assures Luke, visibly terrified about taking on such an important task, that he will receive a warm welcome at Storm's End. Rhaenyra even tells him he is half Baratheon through Rhaenys' bloodline, which is untrue because Luke's biological father is Harwin Strong, not Laenor. It is well known in the realm that Rhaenyra's first 3 children are technically bastards. Rhaenyra should have sent Rhaenys to Storm's End instead, as Borros would have had a hard time denying support to his flesh and blood. Luke arrives at Storm's End and discovers Vhagar resting behind the castle. Aemond has arrived there first. Once face-to-face with the Lord of Storm's End, Borros refuses to fight a war solely based on his father's oath. Since Luke had no additional negotiation tools, such as offering his younger brother's hand in marriage to one of Borros' daughters, he couldn't secure this allegiance. Aemond, still bitter about losing his eye, demands that Luke takes out an eye as payment for his. Luke refuses and leaves the castle to fly home when Aemond starts chasing him with the massive Vhagar. Both riders lose control over their dragons, and the shocked audience witnesses Vhagar's deadly attack on Luke and Arrax. In the Season 2 premiere, Rhaenyra deals with the aftermath of Luke's death. She is desperately trying to find some evidence, and eventually, a dragon wing and Luke's cloak wash up ashore. Meanwhile, In Dragonstone, Rhaenyra's husband Daemon is getting restless, wishing to avenge Luke's death. He demands that Rhaenys fly with him to King's Landing to take down Aemond and Vhagar. Rhaenys denies him because this action was not sanctioned by Rhaenyra. While this plan was risky, it was a good idea. Meleys and Caraxes are the fiercest dragons on Team Black's side, and united in a fight against Vhagar, they might have succeeded. Daemon and Rhaenys are experienced dragon riders, whereas Aemond has no battle experience. Greens chose to attack Rook's Rest. Rhaenyra and her council should have considered why their enemies would pick such an insignificant castle to lay siege to. They walked right into the trap set by Criston Cole. Rook's Rest is on the coastline, close to Dragonstone. The Greens knew Baela had been monitoring the area with her dragon, Moondancer. It seemed rather obvious that they would back up their army with a dragon of their own if the Blacks decided to attack. Rhaenyra was pressured to act without an army, but using a single dragon to destroy the Greens' army repeated the same mistake as with Luke. Rhaenyra has 4 dragons with riders available, and she should have sent all of them to burn down the Green forces. With Jace's dragon, Vermax, Baela's dragon, Moondancer, and Rhaenyra's dragon, Syrax, they could have backed up Rhaenys, leading the attack. Even without Daemon and Caraxes, they had a much better chance as a team. All of them united could have distracted Vhagar, giving the battle-proven duo Rhaenys and Meleys a chance to kill her. In Episode 4, Rhaenys demonstrates her exceptional skills as a dragon fighter. The duo had no problems attacking Aegon and wounding Sunfyre, who is smaller and a novice in battle. When Vhagar appeared, Meleys managed to flee in time when Aemond commanded his dragon to blow a fireball at Aegon and Rhaenys. Outmatched with the odds stacked against her, Rhaenys chose to go back and attack Vhagar yet again, using skillful tactics to drag her to the ground. If Rhaenys hadn't returned for a third time, she would have gotten away. With the support of 3 additional dragons, Rhaenys could have easily destroyed the Greens' army and most likely defeated both of their dragons. The war would have been over. Rhaenyra has lost one of her wisest advisors. Fans watched in horror as Meleys and Rhaenys plummeted to the ground, crashing into the castle Rook's Rest, after exchanging one last heartbreaking look with each other. Once again, Team Green succeeded over Team Black. Even if Aegon and Sunfyre die in the aftermath of the battle, Aemond and Vhagar are still as much of a threat as ever. Meanwhile, the loss of Rhaenys and Meleys is devastating for Team Black. Furthermore, Team Green now controls the coastline. With Corlys now grieving the loss of his wife and Daemon still in Harrenhal, it is hard to imagine how the Blacks will make any ground on Team Green.